Hey guys, welcome to Simple Advantage. I hope you're having a great day. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the new Galaxy S21 lineup and just kind of my thoughts on those phones and kind of the direction that Samsung seems to be headed. And it's really weird to me because I have been a Samsung user for years. And actually my main phone that I use is the Galaxy S10 E, and so it was the cheaper version of the Galaxy S10 a couple years ago. And honestly guys, I have really enjoyed this phone. It's what I use to shoot most of my videos. I'm using my camera right now, but it's just easier to throw it on my little tripod and just shoot with it. And everything about it, it hasn't slowed down at all. It's still a good phone. And so that's why I didn't upgrade last year to the Galaxy S20. But I was kind of planning on upgrading this year to the Galaxy S21 lineup. And I usually go with the cheapest version of the Galaxy S line, which is $800 this year, which is better than last year. I'm glad that Samsung did drop their prices this year, but it's not without some compromises. And so I don't know, used to, Samsung was the company that would give you everything, right? Especially in the Galaxy S8 era and back then a few years ago. And it was Samsung tried to put every single feature that they could into their phones. And that's what I loved about Samsung, because it was the most feature-rich phones. They were at a good price, and everything about them was just high quality. They were powerful, good design, and I don't know, I feel like the last maybe 3 years that it feels especially this year, Samsung is taking away more features than it's adding into their phones. And I'm not saying that the Galaxy S21 lineup is bad or anything. It's not. They're gonna be really good phones, and they're not a bad option to choose. But it's I kind of made a list, of my pros and cons of the Galaxy S21. So of course, one of the pros that I've mentioned is it's got a better starting price than the Galaxy S20 did, that lineup last year. And I do appreciate that, because I feel like phones were getting to a point where, honestly, who's gonna drop $1,200 on a phone? Which I know the Galaxy S21 Ultra is $1,200, which is extreme. I'm a tech enthusiast, and I would never spend that amount of money on a phone. That's just me. So if I was to buy one of these, I would buy the Galaxy S21, just the normal one, for $800. The other thing that's, obviously an improvement is the faster chipsets. So, they've got the new Samsung Exynos chip, and then also for the US, it's going to be the Snapdragon 888. Did I say too many 8s? I don't know. 888. Anyway, supposedly, I know Samsung's had a lot of complaints in the last few years that the Exynos chips don't perform as well or as efficiently as the Snapdragon chips in these phones. And it just depends on your region which chip you get, basically. US and Canada, I believe, get the Snapdragons, and then most other parts of the world get the Exynos. And so Samsung's claiming that the Exynos is going to be better and more competitive this year to the Snapdragon. So, if you don't live in North America, then hopefully you will get just as good, if not better, an experience. But they've said that in the past, and it doesn't always work out, so who knows. They also have more efficient charging, which this is kind of controversial, because the Galaxy S21 lineup only supports up to 25-watt charging. And I know a lot of Chinese manufacturers, they have 60-watt charging or whatever. But supposedly Samsung has worked on the charging on these phones to make it more efficient. And one thing to keep in mind is that 25-watt charging isn't slow. In my opinion, I wouldn't call it slow. And it's actually going to be better for the longevity of the device, the battery health, because when you have these crazy fast charging speeds, like 65 watts or whatever, it is harder on the battery in the long term, and so your device might not last as long. So it kind of depends on your view on that and what you feel is more important. But it's supposed to be more efficient and make the battery life last longer. And the other pro is a new agreement that Samsung has with Google that's going to help with software support and updates. And so basically, hopefully we're going to see faster updates on Samsung phones. They've kind of been notorious for being slow to get updates compared to other manufacturers of Android phones. And hopefully we're going to see longer support, kind of like what Apple does. And that's been one of the main drawbacks of Samsung phones for, especially in the US, like a lot of people, because an iPhone, it's going to be supported for years, like at least 4 or 5 years, and then Samsung phones, it's been like 2 years and stuff. So hopefully we're going to see 3 or 4 years, maybe longer, and Samsung has been doing better about that in general. But now I'm going to get into the cons. So for me, this is like one of the biggest pet peeves I have about all this is they have removed the support for expandable storage, so like micro SD cards. And like these are my personal cons, guys. Like this is stuff that I personally affects me on this. I use my micro SD card in my Samsung like every single day. Like I use a micro SD card all the time. Of course, I do make videos, but it just helps especially when you are filming videos, to have expandable storage, because video files take up so much. And I do take a lot of pictures too. And I'm sorry, I do not like the idea of paying for a cloud service every month to store my photos and videos. Like when I can buy a micro SD card and just put it in the phone and have them on that. That's just me. But the problem that I have with Samsung removing it, which I know a lot of other phone manufacturers have removed it too, but you're advertising the Galaxy S21 Ultra as this like, creator device almost, this multimedia device where, they really emphasize the photography, and then it's got 8K video. Well, if you are shooting in 8K, those files are huge, guys, and like you're gonna remove the expandable storage where you're not gonna be able to have videos stored on that phone in that resolution, that quality, just because they take up so much space. You're not gonna have space for apps and stuff, really, especially on the base model. To me, I don't know, that was just a bad call when you're hyping the 8K video and when you're hyping it as like this creator device. To me, that's like saying, okay, well, you can do all this stuff with it, but you have to basically move it all into a computer or pay for cloud storage. And to me, that's just kind of a hassle. So I wish they hadn't done that, and that's where I miss the old Samsung, where they include like every feature that they can. Because that's what made Samsung Samsung. That's what made the Galaxy S line the Galaxy S line, in my opinion. So that's kind of disappointing for me. The other thing is, they made fun of Apple for removing the charger from the box, like really recently, and then they do it too. Which, I can't complain too much, just because they did lower the price. But I don't know, like the whole thing that they're saying about it's to cut down on like environmental waste. To me, that's silly, because a lot of people are going to have to buy a charging brick anyway, especially if they want to get one of the new ones. And so you're putting it in a whole nother box and creating more waste. So I don't know. I think that's just kind of silly, but at least they did lower the prices of the phones by quite a And okay, I know like I know people have complained about this and it's kind of like in the past, and I understand it's not going to come back. But this is a personal complaint. But I wish, at least on the Ultra, that they would include a headphone jack. Because when you, like I said, when you're pitching this thing as like a creator device, you're pitching it as this multimedia device, that's a good way that you can plug in an external microphone, like a lav mic type thing, all that kind of stuff. And I use the headphone jack on my Galaxy S10e every single day. Like every day I use my headphone jack. And I know you can get the little dongle, but I don't know, I hate it. I hate it, guys. Like I'm still stuck on that. Don't judge me, I'm still stuck on that. And I have Bluetooth headphones and stuff, but I don't know. When I get in my car, like I just want to plug in the aux port and go. You know what I mean? So that's just a personal complaint. But I don't know, guys, like for me, and tell me your thoughts on this too, because I'm curious if you guys are convinced you want to upgrade to the Galaxy S21. And I'm kind of on the edge. Like I don't know if I want to or not, because my Galaxy S10e still gets software updates. It's still really fast. It still works great, and it meets every need that I have in my life. And actually it meets needs I have in my life more than the Galaxy S21 would. Which is kind of weird to say. But that is what it is for me right now. And so at this point I'm kind of thinking I might wait to upgrade and just hang on to my older phone because it still works well. The only thing that makes me consider upgrading is the battery life, because the Galaxy S10e does have a small battery. I think it's right at maybe 31 milliamp hours, and the Galaxy S21 comes with 4,000 as the base model. So I don't know. I'll have to kind of wait and see. A lot of it's going to depend on how my S10e continues to hold up in this next year. If it starts, having any kind of difficulty lasting throughout the day or starts lagging, then I might consider upgrading then. But right now I'm just, I guess I'm not really sold on it. But, if you're somebody that's still on a Galaxy S9 or something, an older model like that, I think you probably would see quite a bit of benefit in upgrading. So it kind of depends on your situation. But what are your thoughts on the Galaxy S21 lineup, guys? And do you think that they have reduced more features than they've added? Or do you feel like it's a fair trade-off? Just, I don't know. Let's discuss. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.